Hello, everyone. Thank you very much and welcome back. I think I'm a couple of minutes late. Sorry for this. So, as we discussed, we are starting today a registration as well as we are starting the application of corporate tax on the partnerships. I'm sure everybody can hear me. If you have if you're facing any issue, you can just drop me a message. So in case everything is fine, we can proceed further and we can move ahead. Okay, as usual, we are starting our discussions by recapping the previous lectures. And in our previous lectures, we know this that we have already discussed overview of the UAE Corporate Tax Law. We have already discussed the taxable persons, we have discussed exempt person, we have discussed out of the scope person, we have discussed taxable persons. We have already discussed exempt persons in detail. We have discussed out of the scope persons. We have discussed UAE sourced income. We have discussed permanent establishment, history of the permanent establishment, and we have discussed what includes in the permanent establishment. We have established fixed or permanent place of business in the UAE will be considered permanent establishment anyway. Any other person who is habitually exercises the authority to conclude and negotiate the contracts on behalf of non-resident person, we decided it will be included in the PE or any other form of nexus that is specified in the cabinet decision, it will be considered PE as well. Today we are discussing corporate tax registration. In the corporate tax registration, the guide has been issued by the Federal Tax Authority in the last week, and in the guide, they have given the guide is on overall on 40 pages guide, and in the guide they have given how to get the registered. They have given early corporate tax registration to some businesses, and we'll look into this. What are the businesses to whom they have given early corporate tax registration? And along with this, we'll go to various contents of the guide as well. We'll look into this, which areas are most important, which areas are not so important, but still we need to go through this. First of all, you need to go to the Imara Tax platform. You will get an email from the FTA. You need to go to the Imara Tax platform. You need to look into the, are you already registered or on the Imara Tax platform or not? If you've already registered, it is fine. If not, then you need to sign it up. You need to get yourself registered. After registration, based upon the guide, they have given these various contents in the guide. They said document control information, navigating through the Imara system, corporate tax registration, introduction, login to Imara Tax, taxable person, dashboard, guideline. All these things are given in the guide. But the most important things are entity detail section, identification detail. Along with this, main license detail, business detail, owner detail, contact detail, and authorized person. These are the most important thing in the guide. We'll go through these important things one by one. This is the entity detail. In the entity detail section, they are asking what is the type of the entity. Entity can be a legal person, it can be a natural person. We have already discussed what are the legal person, what are the natural person. Then we need to discuss the subtype of the entity. We'll discuss the subtype of the entity as well. Country of registration, incorporation, date of incorporation, corporate tax period, very basic information. This is the important thing in the whole guide. This is the most important thing. In this, first of all, as we discussed on the previous guide, what is entity type? It can be a legal person or it can be a natural person in the entity type. Then we need to discuss entity subtype. They said entity subtype. It can be a UAE public joint stock company, it can be a UAE private company, UAE partnership, foreign company, club or association, trust, charity, foundation, various other organizations can be there. So first of all, we need to classify your entity is a legal person or natural person. Then we need to check what is the subclass of the entity. And the registration that has been opened, this registration has been opened for the first two entities, which are legal person public joint stock company and legal person UAE private company. The registration has not been opened for any other entity. So these, you need to be careful in which category you are following. You are following partnership, foreign company, charity, foundation, government entity, sole proprietor, establishment, a civil company, and based upon this, you can proceed further. In the corporate tax detail, they are asking then they are asking basically identification detail. In the identification detail, they're asking trade license number, very basic information, when the company was registered, when the trade license is going to expire, name in English, name in Arabic. We all know this is very basic information. In the identification detail, they're asking business activities. Also in the business activity, you need to find manufacturing, service sector, main group, subgroup, an activity. Based upon this activity, code will be populated automatically. You can choose it very easily from the identification detail. In the corporate tax registration, further they are asking the trade name in English, trade name Arabic, business activity detail just discuss. Then we need to enter the ownership detail as well. In the ownership detail, they are asking we need to enter the detail of the ownership which are holding at least 25% shares. If the owners are holding less than 25% shares of the entity, we are not liable to enter in the detail of the owners. And whatever they are asking in the ownership detail, this is the page that reflects we need to enter for the ownership. Owner type, it can be a legal person, it can be a natural person, legal name in English, name in Arabic, then trade name in Arabic, shareholding percentage. As I mentioned, the key and most important thing is here in this page is if the owners are holding less than 25%, we are not liable to enter the detail of the owner. If the owner holding more than 25%, we are liable to enter the detail of the owner. Even we can enter more than one owner as well at the time of registration of the entity. This corporate tax registration number, this is optional. If they are registered, we need to enter it. If they are not registered, we are not liable to enter. This is, then we enter name of detail of the branches as well. In the identification detail, we entered the name of the entity, we entered the owner's detail, we have entered the business activity detail. Now they are asking we need to enter the detail of the branches as well. We need to enter the detail of all branches, but the TRN will be allocated to the main company. Assuming that one entity or 200 branches in the UAE, we need to enter the detail of 200 branches on the portal, but the one TRN, one tax registration number will be allocated to the main company. But we need to enter the branches. And we all know this branches have no separate legal personality. But still, FT is asking we need to enter the detail on the portal at the time of registration, and we need to enter it. The corporate tax registration, then a contact detail. In the contact detail, they are asking who will be the contact person, the country, building name, number, address, Emirates, the very basic information. I'm going through this very quickly. Then they are asking to enter the authorized signatory detail also, who will be acting on behalf of the company with the FTA. We need to enter the detail of the authorized signatory as well. In the authorized signatory detail, they're asking first name, last name, again, country code, mobile, email address, designation. Then we need to upload the power of attorney. This is the most important thing in this section. So after uploading that, we need to submit the application. All rest of the information are very basic information. I have not gone through this. Important things are entity detail. Then they're asking activity, ownership, authorized signatory, nature of the entity, basically legal, what is the nature, legal or natural person, subcategory of the entity. Then we need to enter the detail of the branch. These are the most important thing that we need to enter. After entering this detail, we need to submit the applications. And out of this guide, some of the information, whenever you are submitting the application, some of the information will be basic information, some of the information will be optional, some of the information will be compulsory. You need to fill the compulsory application, compulsory information at least. Then we need to request to show documents are submitted as and required by the FTA. As I mentioned, owner detail, these are the wording that are taken from the guide. Owner detail, at least you need to enter the owner who are holding at least 25% or more ownership. We need to enter the detail of the branches as well. Registration will be in the name of the head office meeting the relevant criteria. Registration will not be performed in the name of the branches that we have already discussed. Even you are operating via branches in more than one Emirates, only one city registration is required, that we already discussed. They do not use any other company address while entering the address. Use the address of the main company. If you have multiple location where are you operating, then you need to enter the most day-to-day activities, where the most day-to-day activities are being performed. You need to enter the address of that place. If the non-resident person, foreign business, they have a tax agent in the UAE, then they need to enter the detail as well. Evidence of authorization may include the power of attorney. From a financial agent, okay, we'll go to the question at the end. If you are a foreign, when we discuss the agent, evidence of authorization and power of attorney or memorandum of association in case of legal persons. You can add one or more signatory as well, that we have already discussed. So this is a registration. And they are asking, once the application will be submitted, FTA can approve it, FTA can reject it, or FTA can ask you to resubmit the application. In case they are asking, we need to resubmit the application. But once it will be confirmed that FTA will allot you one specific number. This is very, I personally believe this is very basic information for the registration of the entity for corporate tax purposes, and most of the section that were already discussed. If I'm going through the quickly from the frequently asked questions that are given on the Ministry of Finance side, who will be required to register? We all know this. Every taxpayer, every taxpayer, we need to go back to the scope. In the scope, we have discussed who are the resident taxpayer, non-resident, every resident taxable person, every non-resident taxable person will be liable to register for corporate tax purposes. When do I register for VAT? This is the important thing again. Taxpayers are required to register before they file their first CT return. Means your first return will be due in March 2025. You can register yourself on or before that date. It has been given on the Ministry of Finance site. Is the registration threshold for UAE? No, there no registration threshold. Whoever is in the scope of UAE corporate tax, they are liable to register. How do I register for UAE corporate tax? We have just gone through the guide in detail, how to register yourself. I am already registered for VAT purposes. Do I have to register for corporate tax as well? Yes, of course. There are two different things. You need to liable registration of the corporate tax as well. Are UAE branches of a UAE juridical person required to separately register or file for UAE? Not at all. Branches have no legal personality. This is just an extension of the main entity. So branches are not liable to register. But at the time of registration, we need to enter the detail of the branches. Okay, now we are discussing a routine topic. This is application of corporate tax on the partnership. Application of corporate tax on the partnership. It was my last article in the Khaleej Times as well on the application of corporate tax on the partnership. I have prepared this diagram for your convenience. I think this is a very comprehensive diagram. Unfortunately, my comp tab is not working. Otherwise, I would have written it and I would have explained you in detail. Yeah, I started working. So application of corporate tax on the partnership. I have classified application of corporate tax on the partnership. You can look into this. I have classified the application of corporate tax and partnership into different categories. One is a local partnership and second is a foreign partnership. In case of local partnership, this is one category. This is one is the local partnership and second is the foreign partnership legally. Now, the local partnership, it can be in unincorporated into the UAE, or it can be incorporated partnership into the UAE. Unincorporated partnership, it has been defined in the law. This is just a contract between two parties, but doesn't have any legal personality. The entity partnership is not legally registered, but this is a contract between two persons. They both of the person are working together, but this partnership is not legally registered, but two parties have simple, just a contract as per the local law. So it will be considered unincorporated partnership. So in the law, it has been said that unincorporated partnership will be treated like a transparent person. And we know this, the transparent person itself, the person is not subject to tax, but the income of the person is subject to tax in the hands of the partners. So in case of partnership, if one day upon partnership, the two partner has signed a contract, this is an unincorporated partnership. Partnership itself will not be subject to corporate tax, but the income from the partnership will be subject to tax in the hand of the partners. Say two partner A, partner B, income will be subject to tax in partner A and partner B, but partnership itself, it will not be subject to tax. This is called transparent. So if they mention like this, partnership is not liable to corporate tax, but the partners are liable unless they apply. Unless they apply, and FTA approves partnership should be treated as a standalone taxable person. Means partnership by default itself, unincorporated partnership by default is not subject to corporate tax. But the partner, if the partners are applying to the FTA, they are asking this partnership needs to be treated as a taxable person, and this application from the respective partner has been approved by the FTA, then partnership, unincorporated partnership will be treated as a taxable person. Otherwise, partnership itself will not be treated as a taxable person, and the income of the partnership will be taxable in the hands of the partner. So if the partnership is incorporated, then we need to look into this. The liability of any of the partner is unlimited or not. If the liability of any one of the partner is unlimited, shall be treated as unincorporated partnership. But if the liability of any of the partners is not unlimited, then it will be treated like a simple juridical person, and it will be subject to tax. So we can conclude like this: if this is a local partnership, unincorporated, it will be treated as transparent, income will be taxable in the hand of the partner. If this partnership is incorporated partnership, then we need to look into the liability of any of the partners is unlimited. If unlimited, it will be treated like an unincorporated partnership. If the liability of any of the partners is not unlimited, means all of the partners have limited liability, means this is a limited liability partnership. It can be in the form of limited liability shares partnership. So it will be treated like a juridical person. It will be subject to tax. So this is for the local partnership. So far as application of corporate tax on the foreign partnership, it has been written in the frequently asked question, generally same treatment as in foreign country. Generally same treatment as in foreign country. If in the foreign country partnership is not subject to tax, individual shareholders are subject to tax, same treatment will be in UAE as well. If in the foreign country partnership is subject to tax and income of the partnership is not subject to tax in the hands of the individual shareholders, then partnership will be subject to tax, and the dividend treatment depends upon the whatever the dividend they are getting. Usually dividend is not subject to corporate tax. The same treatment, partnership is not subject to tax, income in the hands of the partner is subject to tax, generally will be considered as unincorporated partnership. So partnership is subject to tax, income in the hand of the partner is not subject to tax because the partnership itself is subject to tax. If the partnership itself is subject to tax, income is not subject to tax in the hand of the individual partner, so generally be considered as a corporate legal entity like a juridical person. I think we all are very clear on this. The partnership, just summarizing, local partnership, foreign partnership. Local unincorporated, it will be treated like a transparent. Incorporated, we need to look into this. Liability of any of the partners is unlimited. If unlimited, it will be treated like unincorporated partnership. If this partnership, local partnership, is a limited liability partnership, that it will be treated like a juridical person. Foreign partnership is usually treated as same treatment like in the foreign company. If partnership itself is not subject to tax, but individual partners are subject to tax, then it will be treated like a unincorporated partnership. Otherwise, it will be treated like a juridical person. These are the extract of the law, basically, of the extract of the UE law on the partnership. I just summarize it, basically, nothing more than this. Person conducting a business as an unincorporated partner shall be treated as individual taxable person. We have already established this, but subject to the condition, this is the unincorporated partnership, unincorporated local partnership. All assets, business, and arrangement of the unincorporated partnership shall be treated as partner asset, because whatever unincorporated partnership is doing, this partnership doesn't any legal status. So whatever the partnership is doing, it will be treated, these are being done by the partner, and all assets, all liability of the partnership will be treated the assets and liability of the partners. All assets, liability, income, expenditure of the unincorporated partnership shall be allocated to each partner in proportion of their share. So basically, whatever the partnership is earning, it will be allocated in proportion to their shares, and their share will be subject to tax. And wherever they said, if there is no specific share, then FTA, where the share each partnership will identify, basically share percentage, FTA can decide as well if there are no specific shares. Interest expense on the contribution. So there is a partnership, one partner A, there is a one part, their partnership, this is a partnership, there is a one partner A, one partner B. What is being invested by A or whatever is being invested by B, they said any interest expense on the partner capital shall be treated as allocation of income instead of allowable expense to the partner. So whatever they are investing, it will be considered interest expense. Whatever they are getting, it will be considered allocation of income. Income will be subject to tax in the hands of A. Income will be subject in the hand of A, and this interest expense will be allowed. So net amount will be subject to tax. Any foreign tax paid, it will be by the unincorporated partnership. It will be apportioned in between two partners. We will discuss the foreign tax in our next lectures. This is what we are discussing about the foreign partnership. Foreign partnership should be treated as unincorporated only if the partnership itself is not subject to tax. Each partner is individually subject to tax for their share of income. And we have already discussed this in this leg. If you will go through this leg, we have already discussed it here. We said partnership is not subject to tax. Income in the hand of partner is subject to tax. It will be treated like unincorporated partnership. The same thing has been given in the law as well. Partner can make an application to the FTA for the unincorporated partnership to be treated as a taxable person. We have already discussed this. Basically, the partners in the first leg we have discussed, in the first leg of our diagram we have discussed, in this leg we have discussed unincorporated partnership. It will be treated as transparent. Partner will be subject to tax unless they have applied to the FTA and it has been approved by the FTA. And once it has been approved by the FTA, then partnership will be treated as a taxable person. So they have given the same thing here as well. The partner can make an application to the FTA for the unincorporated partnership to be treated as a taxable person. And if it has been approved by the FTA, then partnership will be treated as a juridical person. Partner separately or jointly will be responsible for the corporate tax. And one partner shall be appointed as a partner responsible for the obligation and proceedings of the partnership. At the end, they are asking this status of the unincorporated partnership as a juridical person will be effective from the beginning of the tax period in which the application was made, or any future tax period, or beginning of any future tax period, or beginning of any other tax period which has been approved by the FTA, but it will be effective from the beginning of the respective tax period. Then the unincorporated partnership, FTA can ask the authorized partner to be treated as a taxable person. Even partnership is unincorporated partnership, even not approved, FTA can ask the authorized person to be treated as a taxable person. Moreover, even the partnership is unincorporated partnership, FTA may require the unincorporated partnership to register for corporate tax purpose. It means if the partner has not applied that the partnership should be treated as a taxable person, FTA can ask any partner, any partnership, or that they need to be registered for corporate tax purpose, that they need to be treated as a taxable person. FTA may request a partner and incorporated partnership to provide the financial statement, and if they are asking, partnership will be required to provide the financial statements as well. These are the frequently asked questions. How will the UAE corporate tax regime apply to the partnership? This is the same thing that we discussed earlier in the first slide. They said unincorporated partnership or incorporated partnership. Unincorporated partnership, as defined in the corporate law, essentially are contractual relationship between two or more persons, as opposed to being a distinct juridical person separate from their partner members. Simple contract, and this is distinct from the basically separate from the partners and member. Unincorporated partnership are transparent, that we already discussed. And what is transparent? The income of this partnership is subject to tax in the hands of the partner, and partnership itself is not subject to corporate tax. So they say instead each partner is subject to corporate tax on their share of income from the business conducted through the partnership. In case of incorporated partnership, this is a little bit tricky, but I have interpreted and designed it in the form of diagram. They said incorporated partnership include limited liability partnership, partnership limited by shares, or other types of partnership. So it can be, so basically here who can take the distinct, this incorporated partnership, it can be limited liability partnership, LLP, or it can be non-LLP. If this is LLP, it needs to be treated like a juridical person we already established. If this is non-LLP, this is obvious, it will be treated as unincorporated partnership. So they said if include limited liability partnership, partnership limited by shares, or any other type of partnership where none of the partners have unlimited liability for the partnership obligation, means none of the partners has unlimited liability, means all of the partners have limited liability, or other partner actions. Such partnerships are subject to tax in the same manner as corporate entity like a juridical person. So incorporated partnership, if this is limited liability partnership where none of the partner has unlimited liability, it will be treated like a juridical person. Otherwise, it will be treated like unincorporated partnership. Second, will each partner and unincorporated partnership be required to register and file a UECT return? Yes, we have already agreed. If this is unincorporated partnership and partners have not applied to the FTA, then the partnership should be treated as a taxable person, and it has not been approved by the FTA, even applied, then in this situation, each partner individually will be liable to register for corporate tax purposes, and they will be liable to submit the return as well. How will foreign partnership be treated under the corporate tax law? We have already discussed. It will be treated generally, it will be treated in the same way like these are being treated in the foreign jurisdiction. If the income is already taxable in the hand of the partner, partnership itself is not subject to tax, then it will be treated like unincorporated partnership. Otherwise, it will be treated like a juridical person. I would have, very honestly, I would have given one example for the partnership, but the time was very limited. So keeping in with the time limitation, I have not considered the example. We were supposed to discuss a registration section as well. So what I'll do, I'll try my best to keep the examples like this in the future. So it will be quite helpful for you. So our tax team, if you have any question, you can drop us an email. It will be pleasure supporting you. We are always ready to listen, we are ready to understand, and we are ready to deliver. So if you have any question, you can come back to us on our email address given info@presscooper.com. Thank you very much. This is over from my side. I can go through your questions one by one. If my financial year is Jan to December, so I shall choose tax year Jan to December. Okay, right. And second part of my question is whether I should include Jan to December to the income as the first tax return. Hasib, this is question asked by Hasib. This is we have already discussed in the, I think, very beginning lecture. Corporate tax is applicable. Corporate tax is applicable on the financial year starting on or after. Corporate tax is applicable on the financial year starting on or after June 1st, 2023. Let me open one slide quickly. I think, okay. One slide I will be able to explain you. Okay. Hopefully you can see my screen as well. Again, this tab is creating some issues. Signals are not coming. Anyway, so first question, we have discussed in the very beginning that the corporate tax will be applicable on the financial year starting on or after 1st June 2023. So if your financial year is starting from 1st of Jan, so 1st of Jan means after 1st of June 2023, your financial year will be starting from 1st of June 2024. So your tax period will be 1st of Jan 2024 till 31st of December 2024. This will be your tax period, and you will be liable to submit the corporate tax return within 9 months from end of the relevant financial period. So your tax period will be 1st of Jan 2024 till 31st December 2024, 12 months. You will be liable to submit the tax return maximum by 30th September 2025, and you will be liable to pay the tax before this date, means before 30th September 2025. Secondly, mentioned whether second part of question is whether I should include June to December income. No, you are not liable because your financial year is starting from 1st of Jan 2024 till 31st December. You will not be required to include the income of 2023. Yaga is asking, consulting firm registered as civil company, is it incorporated partnership? Civil company, it will be considered like a natural person. It has already been given in the frequently asked questions. All are the partners, the unincorporated partnership required to register, even those having below 25%. Yes, because there is no threshold. They said if the partnership is unincorporated partnership, then the individual partner are liable to register. They are liable to pay the tax. They are liable to submit the return as well. So please, sir, please answer. I think Hasib, I have already addressed your question. So Samir is asking, what will be the status of LLC, unincorporated partnership or private limited liability company? It has already been given in the law. It will be treated like a juridical person. FTA said that they will invite businesses to register for VAT. Should I wait for the invitation or go ahead and register? No, my company is freedom company. You will definitely get an invitation from them, and we have already discussed in the very beginning. Right now, pre-registration, pre-time, basically corporate tax registration is applicable only for two companies. One is a public joint stock company, a private business who are getting emails from the FTA. And we have already agreed that you can register yourself before the submission of your first return. You have sufficient time and you need to get yourself registered before that time. I think this is all the questions we have addressed anyway. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for your time. If you have any further question, you can drop us an email or you can give us a call as well. But I will strongly request you to drop an email. It will be quite easy for me to address your questions. Thank you very much and have a lovely day. Thank you. Bye-bye. One more question is there as well. Okay. Okay, Hasib, you can drop me an email, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the video. Click on the bell and subscribe to the YouTube channel.